out from my window. Sun's coming up like the day before. You're like a stone on my pillow. I don't make a sound when I shut the door. You don't have to wake up yet. We can spend all day in bed. I'll put the TV in the room. We'll have a Netflix marathon. Kenny G saxophone. We'll order in a bunch of food. I'll put your favorite music on all the way baritone.
Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Christina if you're new here. Today I'm going to be talking about how to go blonde and how to maintain blonde hair and keep it healthy even in extremely dry weather. For those who don't know, I am from Alaska and I am very, very picky about my hair. I like it to be healthy. I don't like it to be dry and frizzy and crazy looking. So I do everything I can to be able to keep it healthy and nice. And today I'm going to be sharing my tips with you guys. The first tip to maintaining blonde hair is obviously you're going to have to go to a lot of appointments, especially platinum blonde hair like this. If you get highlights, you have a lot more time between appointments. But for me, I just go and I just get one color done. So I go for a root touch-up about every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how quickly my hair is growing. But basically, I don't want it to grow more than like 3/4 of an inch. I want to be sitting in the salon chair before it gets to that point, just because then you're gonna see random like stripes where the old color is and where the new color is, and you do not want that. When you're gonna be looking for a hairdresser to dye your hair blonde or to bleach your hair blonde, you are going to want to find somebody who has done a lot of blonde clients before. This is gonna be less tricky. Don't go to like a student who has never bleached somebody's hair before, because you're gonna have to upkeep it and maintain it. Make sure that you go to somebody who knows what they're doing. Look at their Instagram, make sure they have a lot of blonde clients, and whenever you're sitting in their chair to talk to them about what you want to do with your hair, make sure you show them a picture of their own client, like a picture of hair they themselves have done before, because then they're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I did. You want this shade, this color. And keep in mind also, when you're showing them a picture about like what kind of hair you want them to do, you have to understand that lighting plays such a big role, because platinum hair like mine, I will go into the sun and it's gonna look like yellow, very like a golden color, and then I'll go somewhere where it's dark and it's gonna look purple, you know, it's gonna look completely different. So keep that in mind as well. That color plays a really big role in the color of your hair. Now that we've covered how often you have to go to your appointments and how to find a good hairstylist, I will say that products are probably the most important thing that you're going to be doing to your hair, maybe even more so than the hairdresser themselves. Because imagine you go sit in a chair, you spend like over $200 on your hair, and the next thing you know, your hair is like frizzy, your hair is bad, and you look at your pictures of when you just left the hairdresser and your hair looked healthy and amazing. It's because a lot of people, what they do is they spend all this money, like $200-300, to be able to have blonde hair, platinum hair, and then they go home and they use Garnier or Pantene. They use hair products that are not color safe. They're not good for your hair. Even for natural hair, they're not very good. I remember sitting in my hairdresser's chair, and one thing she told me, she was like, I can tell you use really good shampoo and conditioner, like good brands, because of how well the color is processing. Your hair is very healthy and the color is like processing very, very well. And I was like so proud of myself, because I have been using brands such as Redken, Biolage Matrix, I think that's what it's called, and Chi, and brands that are kind of higher up. I also really like AGI, and I think Ulta sells it. Sephora might sell it too, but I'm not 100% sure. I use higher end brands, and I am going to warn you that it does get a little bit of expensive, especially since you're not buying drugstore brands. You're buying hair products that are going to make sure the quality of your hair color and the health of your hair, it stays the way it's supposed to, and it's gonna look amazing even a month after your hair appointment. I like to specifically look for shampoos and conditioner that are hydrating, just because I live in Alaska and it's very dry here, and especially in the wintertime, like I need that conditioner. So you have probably earlier in the video saw me using all kinds of products, especially after after the shower. This is really important. So one of the first products I used was the Purology Color Fanatic Multitasking Leave-In Spray. This is kind of like It's a 10, except it does different things. I guess it has 21 essential benefits. I actually just recently got this and I'm testing it out, but so far I really like it. It's doing exactly what It's a 10 does, and honestly I feel like it's more moisturizing than It's a 10, so I definitely recommend this one. This is what it looks like. I think I got this one on hair.com. Another super important thing is when you have blonde hair, you want to protect it. You want to make sure it stays hydrated, doesn't frizz up, and make sure that you are using the Chi Thermal Protectant. Okay, it doesn't have to be Chi, but make sure that you are using some kind of protection spray, like heat protectant. If you are blow drying your hair, if you are using hot tools on it, absolutely use this. It's going to prevent your hair from frizzing up. It's going to keep it healthy. It's going to keep it moisturized. And of course, people usually think that like oil for your hair isn't that important. You guys, oil for your hair is so important. The best part is there are so many different types of oils and they are not very expensive. I got this Chi Keratin Silk Infusion. This one is like a protein for your hair and it does a really good job. I'm almost out of it. There's also a really good one by Loma that I use. That one is really great as well. And I read somewhere that the Moroccan oil, like the Moroccan oil brand, has really, really good oils too. So I put this one on after the shower, like after my hair is dried up or even when it's a little bit damp, I put a lot of oil in. And you'll think like, oh my gosh, I don't want my hair to be greasy at the bottom. Trust me, by tomorrow, the oil is going to be completely gone because your hair needs that oil. Another tip I'll give you guys about blonde hair is when you go out in the sun, make sure you wear either a hat and you put some kind of oil or something in there, like even heat protectant spray honestly probably will work. Put some kind of product in your hair because when you're in the sun, it could get dried out. And if you go into a chlorine pool, before you go into the pool, go into the shower if you're in a hotel, you're on vacation, whatever, and soak your hair. Get it in like cool water, you know, like warmish, coldish water, and just get your hair wet, just regular water, and then go into the chlorine pool because your hair retains moisture when it's this blonde like crazy. So any moisture it gets, it tries to suck it up. You don't want it soaking in that chlorine. You want it soaking in that regular water until it's full. And then when you go into the chlorine, it's not going to be soaking that up. That is actually a tip that my hairdresser gave me. And last year when we were in Mexico, it saved my hair. And when I got back, it didn't look damaged and crazy. Sorry, I understand this is not the cutest angle, but I really needed to sit down. Another tip that I will give you about maintaining your blonde hair is don't wash it more than about 2 times a week. Like I said, your hair retains moisture like crazy. Any moisture you give it, it will just soak it up. Sometimes even like you put your hair up after like 4 days of not washing it and you won't even really see that it's very greasy. It doesn't get greasy very quickly. And if you train your hair to only be washed twice a week, it's not going to get as oily as quickly. And also another benefit with only washing your hair about 2 times a week is that your color is going to last longer because the more you wash it, the more your color starts to fade. Now the next tip is kind of general because it's just for everybody's hair. Even if your hair isn't colored, even if your hair isn't blonde, don't use heat tools very often on your hair. A lot of times I just let it air dry. Like for the video, I did blow dry. I very, very rarely blow dry my hair, but I did today just to show you what products I use. And I'm going to end this video with a bang because believe it or not, some people do this. You guys, if your hairdresser makes your hair blonde, it's gonna take a few months, first of all, for it to be completely even, completely nice. So if the first time you go home and you notice, okay, like I see some spots, kind of like, it's not gonna be super obvious, but okay, like a little bit here and there, you're probably gonna be the only one to notice it. People aren't gonna notice it, but your hairdresser will point this out to you, that it's gonna take a few months for you to have that even all over color, especially if you're going from a natural color to blonde or if you're going from another color to blonde, especially if you're going from like a darker shade. I'm gonna say this because I know my hairdresser is gonna want me to say this, but do not dye your hair by yourself, especially after you go platinum, especially after your hairdresser tried so hard on your, because you dyed your hair, it affects the color that they use. So even if she tries to get you back to blonde, it's going to fry your hair. And even like the really popular do-it-yourself dyes like Madison Reed and stuff, not great for platinum hair. So just avoid it. Avoid dyeing your hair by yourself. And you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and just like hanging out with me and listening to me talk about this. I know that a lot of people were actually asking and requesting this video, and I really hope this helped. Like I said before, I'm not a professional. I've just had blonde hair for so long. I've had so many conversations with my hairdressers, with other people's hairdressers, and I just am sharing what I know. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps support my channel, and it will let me know what kind of content you guys like to see. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next Friday. See ya. Bye.
Driving through days and nights,